Okay, so what today I want to try and be a little more interactive again. To how this really relates to our businesses. Everybody knows that we're moving digital. What the heck does that mean for us, right? Do we need to be on Facebook now? Do we need to be in LinkedIn? Do we need to be any place else other than what we've been doing for all this time to get us to where we are? The answer now is probably yes. If you look at all of the numbers, Facebook is a power to be reckoned with. Twitter is a power to be reckoned with, not for everybody, but for all of us in business. We need to be where our potential customers are, right? So the way that I'd like to start this out, the website being the key again to digital marketing, everything has to revolve around that. We send targeted visitors to our website, to a specific page that talks to them about something that's relevant to their needs, right? So if somebody is Googling blue suede shoes, we want them to land on a page about blue suede shoes. So everything goes into this website, and in the website we can talk to people in far greater detail than we can in a newsletter email, or in a tweet, or on a Facebook post. That's where we really get into the meat of the issue. So what I'd like to do this morning is I'm going to start with a new client of mine, and in fact I have a lead today, a referral for Jack to possibly be the writer for this project. It's a fencing company. This fencing company has been in Redwood City for over 20 years. They have a crew of over 50 people seasonally. They primarily do residential work, but they do also for commercial, as well as for cities, for school systems with playgrounds, and for institutions. They do all kinds of fences. They do redwood and cedar wood fences. They do vinyl fences, which they don't like to talk about. They do chain link fences. Obviously, we have to do that. They do. They refer to it as ornamental iron. Many of us might call it wrought iron, but in the trade they call it ornamental iron. So many of you would be in their target audience. Their target audience for residences, and I'm going to talk just the residential side. We're going to talk to the commercial prospects differently, and to the schools and institutions differently than we do the residential. So all we're talking about today is residential customers. So anyone who owns property that has fencing, right, or potential for fencing, is a prospect for them. So what I'd like to ask you today as a focus group is, if you were looking for a fencing company, you want to build a fence. You got a fence that's falling down, or now you have neighbors that you just as soon not see, or whatever the reason, your motivation for hiring a fencing contractor. How do you go about sourcing that fencing contractor?
Call Claire Lee.
Call Claire Lee.
Call my realtor, because they know everybody that comes into the houses and who are the good people.
As a mortgage broker, I would think that that's probably a really
secondly,
good way to do it.
Also, I get those mailers at home, right?
Sure.
So you get those envelopes full of coupons,
Value pack.
the value packs. I always look through them, but I never call them. The reason why is they're always got 888 numbers, so I don't know if they're local, if they're reputable, or anything else like that. So that's one of the things where I stay away from them. I look for people that have like the local area codes. I want somebody that's local. I want somebody that's going to be around my neighborhood that I know has a reputation. So that's where those value packs, for me, I feel bad for those people that are advertising in them, because I'm like, I think they're missing out.
You still go through those, though.
But I still look
How
at
many in
them.
the room go through the value packs when they come in? Wow, wow, that's interesting.
50%.
That's interesting. So direct mail would still work for someone like you.
It was a local person.
If it's a local person, right,
I call my insurance agent.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. I have people call me all the time asking for referrals for, well, fences blow down in storms. Who are you going to refer? You know, we refer them out. We have our claims people that have fencing companies on specific lists. They just have to be on the insurance company's list, and then they get farmed out for estimates for repairs.
So it's worthwhile for a fencing company to
get into any insurance company.
To have you
Absolutely.
on a mailing list. so that you can provide referrals to them.
Yep.
That's a good idea. I like that.
See, the same thing is true of me, except in my context, it's only mortuaries.
Got it. For the rest of us.
Life insurance, you know.
All right, so now I'm starting out brand new. I want to build a fence. So I personally would probably Google fence contractor or something along those lines. Now
Or Yelp.
I wouldn't even
Yelp.
think about calling my insurance agent or my realtor, actually.
Oh, okay.
I would, and so is everybody else kind of in that way, or would you
No,
call
I
your
would
realtor
do
or
that too,
insurance?
Craig. I would do that, and I would look at all the reviews. That's like the
And
first
you
thing
look
I
at the
do.
reviews.
That's the first
And
thing
so
I would
okay.
do.
Which reviews would you look at?
Yeah.
Well, Yelp. When you Google Yelp, comes up first.
Yelp comes up a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So I would just go through all the Yelp reviews. Unfortunately, with Yelp, sometimes you just get like, oh, they're great, oh, they're horrible.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, so it's really difficult sometimes to like try to figure out. But like I would like go through the list, and then for the people, the majority say, oh, they're great, then I would just choose them. That I wouldn't call anybody.
Yeah. So Yelp is still important there, I think. Yeah.
I look on the internet, but I do a search. I'll go to the area and then what I need. So Redwood City and fencing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay, so now we've located somebody that looks kind of interesting on Google, right? And if we either looked at a Yelp review or we looked at a Google review or something along those lines. Yelp is an interesting phenomenon because a full third of their businesses that participate in Yelp are restaurants. A third.
Oh, really?
We know that doesn't represent the population as a whole, but a third of the businesses represented are restaurants. So any way you slice it and dice it, they are a restaurant review site, right? But nonetheless, people are still going there. Also, the problem I have with Yelp is when they go into a new city, they take their staff of 60 to 100 people and they go in there and they write the reviews. So it's a Yelp employee who's writing a review that you're reading. And I think that that's somewhat dishonest. Now that's just a personal observation that kind of ticks me off about Yelp. But I really don't know any other way for them to go in and start a new market without doing that. So, but anyways, so now we've got it down. Now we've got to a review, right? We've seen a someone that looks interesting to us, right? That someone we think might do the job. We look at things like what kind of characteristics are we looking for a fencing contractor?
Honest.
Honest. And how do you portray?
Well,
honesty?
I guess you'd have to talk to them before you really can. You have to feel good about them. It's kind of like picking a dentist. If you get on the phone and the dentist office is rude, then you're like, forget it. And if they're nice, you're willing to entertain it.
Let's take one step back
honest.
if we can, right? So this is now we're trying to make the determination of whether to call them or not, right? So we're only going to call one or two or three. We're not going to call every fencing contractor out there, right? So what gets us to call this fencing contractor as opposed to this fencing contractor?
Website?
Well, so now we're still on Google. So now we've Googled them through. We've gone through Yelp. We've seen. So do we visit the website then next?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Yes.
And so what pages are we looking at on this website?
I'm looking for
Pictures.
examples, portfolio.
You're looking for pictures for a fencing contractor.
Right.
I agree with that. And so are you looking at all of the fencing? Or do we come in with an idea that I want a wooden fence, or I want a chain link fence, or I want a iron fence, or how do we do that?
Yeah, the type.
I'd
of
look for the
fence.
type.
You look for the type of the fence. And then you'd go and you'd hope to see pictures of work that they had done in the past, and possibly even a little testimonial to somebody off to the side that says these guys did a great job for me, or something along those lines. Okay. So then once you get to this and you see that they do the job, they can do the job for you. What else is important?
Where they're
Affordable.
located.
I'm sorry.
Affordable.
And how do we determine that?
You might put it in on your search, affordable fencing in Redwood City.
Okay. And now, affordable is a really tough word to optimize.
Cheap.
Cheap is one that we.
Cheap does not equate good.
And so
What do you pay
for
for?
this, this contractor won't even compete there because we're not going cheap. We're not anyone that's looking merely for cheap.
Quality.
Value.
I would say reputable.
Because that just means that they're trying to get the price down, and if they're looking for quality, for real value, that's the type of individual that these people want. Okay, so now we got them down. We've looked at a couple of different websites. Now we're ready to pick up the telephone and call. Which one do you call first?
One with the best pictures.
Any others?
The one closest to you,
The one closest to you. And why is that important?
because if there's anything wrong later, you can find that more easily. Like, that's
Nowhere to
why I
find
don't
them.
buy a car, like, far away from where I live, because I'm gonna have that customer service.
How about a Better Business Bureau sticker or tag on the site, or
Clean energy.
or something along those lines? Because it's really hard to tell the integrity, or even we can sometimes graphics will allow us to tell whether we're affordable or not. One of the discussions we're having right now with the fencing contractor is, do we use the word custom? Because custom has that ring of it's going to cost us a little bit more. And so we don't want to price ourselves out of the market, but we still want to say that we do fences from, and gates from scratch, that you don't have to buy from a catalog, we'll build it for you. So
Testimonials.
testimonials are good for you. Okay. And so, so we would now, either this group would call a realtor, or we'd call an insurance broker, or we'd go to Google. We'd look for, and the reviews are important to us. We'd look at websites and pictures where pictures are important to us, right? And we would then determine, based on looking at a couple of different competitors, which one we wanted to call first, which one we'd call second, and which one we'd call third, right? Okay. And then at that point, that's the digital marketing is basically done, because then we want to actually have that conversation with the customer, set up the time to come out and do the estimate and so forth, right? Okay, so we've done that one. Let's do one of ours. And if there's someone that would like to volunteer their business here, that's great. If not, yours is going to be a harder one.
I know.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking.
because we got so many security. Yours would be one that I would stay away from, actually, because you have so many restrictions in what you're able to do, and I'm not well enough versed in it to get beyond all of those. We have specialists out there that work with financial advisors. I don't happen to be one of them because of it's a whole new ball game. But Marcia, a print shop. Are you volunteering?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I think that's a great example. So we're looking for a printer, right? What kind of job do we have?
Oh, okay. These are wedding invitations.
Wedding
That's
invitations.
a good one.
Okay, fantastic. How do we now source wedding invitations?
Big catalogs at the
Bridal store.
At the
Bridal store.
Huge
No.
catalog.
So do we
Totally
go to
the web.
Yeah.
first we go to the bridal store?
The web.
Kinda.
The web.
No, you know what
The
I
not.
find? Okay, Yelp. All these
Really?
brides go on Yelp, and they Yelp them. I mean, I have gotten tons of. I get reviews, So they go into the printer wedding invitation printers, and it's, oh God, everybody loves you. I saw it on Yelp, and they call.
I think a lot of people are brides are
It's
going to
really
go to the
interesting.
store and they're going to look at all those catalogs to at least get an idea of what they want.
So they have an idea before they contact
Yeah,
the
it's
printer.
just kind of a different
You know
animal.
what, though, I think it's generational.
Yeah.
It used to be with the way you're describing, it's not like that. People
So,
don't
Craig, I
have
think
their
we should
house
ask
parties.
our youngest generation what
People don't
Yeah,
have
Jack.
he might do.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
exactly
think
what
Jack's
they
going to be a
would
bride.
I'm just saying that's exactly
Yeah.
what they do.
What would you do?
So what? How do you think that a young engaged woman would be sourcing? I guess I should, because I wasn't part of my picking out wedding invitations. Maybe guys do, but
Well, my last friend who got married, I think she ended up outsourcing it to her mother. But I think generally it's a pretty safe bet that they're going to Google it. That's the very
Still
first thing
Google.
they're
Well,
going to do.
Sonic it.
And then they're
Sonic
going to
And-
be led to
Yeah.
this, that, or the other.
and Yelp may come up
And
first.
Yelp's probably the first thing that's going to come up.
I had